Hey, thank you for joining me today on Movie Review Mom. Today the movie I'm reviewing is Captain Marvel. This movie is rated PG-13. It is 2 hours and 4 minutes long, and the grade that I gave it is a B-. So let me tell you why. First of all, this movie has been very controversial, mainly because traditionally in comic books, Captain Marvel is a man, and Brie Larson, a woman, has been cast as Captain Marvel. That doesn't bother me so much, but some people are all up in arms about it. She's certainly capable. She's been working out and boxing and doing judo and wrestling for 9 months to prepare for this movie. And of course, this is the age of female empowerment, it appears, in movies. And so all of the women think that this is amazing and awesome. And it would have been interesting to see it as a guy, just to the point. I mean, it would be like turning Wonder Woman and having it be played by a guy, just to make a point. I don't know, but whatever. This is actually considered a prequel to the MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, specifically the origin story of how the Avengers came to be. It's really not an origin story for her, for Captain Marvel, because the movie starts and she already has a bunch of powers, and then it's just kind of a progression from there. But it's fun to see sort of the origins of the Avengers, I guess I can just say it like that. I absolutely loved the Stan Lee tribute at the very, very beginning, the opener of the whole movie, which was so wonderful. And there's actually a live Stan Lee moment in the movie, which I love. I always look forward to those moments so much in the Marvel Universe. And so I was sad, obviously, of course, when he passed away, thinking, oh, we're not going to get any more. But actually, he filmed 2 of them right before he passed. One is in this movie, which is perfect because it's Captain Marvel, and he brought us so many Marvel characters over the years. And then the next one is actually going to be in the next Avengers Endgame movie. And supposedly that was the last one that he did live action. So anyway, I loved seeing him in the movie, and I love Brie Larson's expression when she saw him sitting on this train scene. Anyway, I loved all of that. Some quick tips for parents before I go into more details, and that is that there is some profanity. It's not horrible at all, so that's good. No F-bombs, at least that I heard. But some kids might be a little bit confused by the timeline and the back and forth story. It's a little bit confusing, and honestly, I didn't think it was handled very well. As an adult, I'm like, hey, wait. I don't know. There's so many back and forth moments that it just was a little messy, in my opinion, and some of the transitions also were a little clunky. So if an adult is confused, then I think kids will be confused. Of course, they may not care, but anyway, there's that. There's lots of fighting and destruction. Obviously, it's a superhero movie. And then the good news for kids, though, is that the villains are not very scary looking. So that's good. There's some aliens and some creatures, but nobody is super frightening. There are some green monster-looking alien guys. And from what I can remember, that's probably the worst. Oh, yeah, there is an alien thing that's got, tentacles and stuff like that. But it's not super scary, so that's really good. And of course, your daughters are going to love the whole female empowerment aspect of the movie. And in fact, the movie was released on International Women's Day. So that's pretty cool. The themes in the movie that you can talk to your kids about are what it means to be human, because Captain Marvel, she struggles with that as well. And, we all do. Another positive theme is that we have more power than we even realize. And a common thread that went through the movie was to be the best version of yourself, whatever that is. As long as you're trying every day to be better, that's progress, that's success. And then, of course, the theme of good versus evil and the theme of free will, which was pretty powerful as well. Now, by far, the standout for me, at least in the movie, was the de-aging CGI work. It's unbelievable. It's just so good. It's used specifically on Samuel L. Jackson and Clark Gregg. Now, Clark already looks young, so they probably didn't have a whole lot of work to do on him. But it takes them back to the 1990s, and they looked amazing, and it was really fun. Samuel L. Jackson also has a quick little singing moment where he sings one of the Marvelettes songs back from a long time ago. Anyway, he has a really good singing voice. I thought it was really good. There's some entertaining dialogue and banter, particularly between Captain Marvel and Samuel L. Jackson's character, who is Agent Fury, Nick Fury, but scattered throughout the movie, and I always appreciate that, especially in a superhero movie when, you know, you want to be in awe, you want to be amazed, but you want to laugh, and you want to know that they're not taking themselves too seriously. And that's kind of one of the big points that bothered me the most is all of the superheroes have vulnerability. We love Thor because he doesn't take himself so seriously. Iron Man, of course, is cocky, but he is playful enough that we can tolerate, you know, the cockiness, I guess. But with Captain Marvel, I didn't really see a whole lot of growth. Now, I know she's trying to solve this mystery of who she is, where she came from, and put all of the puzzle pieces together. But other than this memory loss, she was kind of bland. She didn't make us fall in love with her. And I didn't see a lot of emotional struggle and vulnerability like all the other superheroes have. For example, everybody's got a weakness. Even Superman has his kryptonite, right? Instead, there's this, I don't know, she's, like I mentioned, she starts strong, she has her powers, and then she just kind of flies around and blows up things and then, you know, tries to solve her mystery. That's not really inspiring. And we want to be amazed and in awe of our superheroes, but we also want to be able to relate to them in some way, to be able to see their humanity and their vulnerability so that we can relate to them. And there's not a whole lot of that. She's just kind of awesome and, you know, fights people and whatever. So that was one of my biggest gripes. There's all the buzz about Goose the cat and how Goose the cat is going to be this big hit. So I'm expecting to see lots of memes online. However, I don't think that Goose is going to be nearly as popular as Frank the Pug from Men in Black, who was hilarious. And this cat is a cat, so she just kind of, or I don't know if it's a guy or a girl. I think they refer to her as a girl. You know, she kind of quietly walks around. There are some moments that are unique to Goose that are important in the story. But I thought it was really funny when Nick Fury says, he swears, and he says, "Darn it, Goose, pick a side." And that's another one of my pet peeves is there's a lot of flip-flopping of characters. Who's evil, who's good. You think they're evil, but they're really good, or you think they're good, but they're really evil. And again, for kids, that might be really confusing and maybe make them think, wow, you know, who can I even trust? And that's not really a good thing. But there's that. You certainly don't have to wait for an action scene because there's a little bit of talking, boom, there's action. There's some more little talking, boom, more action scenes. So that's good if you want action. On the flip side, the action's not super memorable. There's just lots of fighting and kicking and shooting and destroying and, you know, that kind of stuff. I mentioned the Stan Lee moment on this train. That, for me, was the standout scene. It was hilarious because during part of that scene, Captain Marvel is fighting a Skrull who's a changer, who can, a shapeshifter kind of a thing. And so she's fighting this old lady, which was just kind of hilarious, so I liked that. There were some good space scenes that were good that made me want to learn more about various planets and see more of the worlds out there. And I appreciated learning a little bit more about the Kree world because it's mentioned in so many MCU movies. Is that redundant? Marvel Cinematic Universe movies? Whatever. Anyway, Ben Mendelsohn was really great. Lashana Lynch's character, who's played by Maria Rambo, she really is the one that provides the heart for the movie. You expect it to come from Captain Marvel, right? But it doesn't really. She's just kind of, sad and confused mostly, but you don't really get any great depth, which is amazing because Brie Larson is an Academy Award winner, and she was fantastic in The Room and showed some great depth, and she was conflicted, and there was just some complexities to her character, and other than her just being sad and frustrated in this movie, you don't get that needy feel. So whatever. Some of the motion just seemed forced at times. And let's see, I'm looking through my notes to see what else I forgot. Oh, I did want to ask if anybody knows out there, why hasn't Black Widow, Scarlett Johansson, gotten her own movie yet? Hopefully the MCU will learn from the mistakes of this film so that the Black Widow movie can be a really great one. And there were some mistakes, and audiences have been just making the Rotten Tomato meter just tank after the movie came out. And I think it's really, in a nutshell, all because we expect so much from the MCU now. And so I'm really excited, a little nervous, but I'm really excited to see the Avengers movie that comes out next month. And hopefully the MCU is going to get it right. They've just been knocking it out of the park. Really, they've done a tremendous job. And I'm such a fan. And I have never read comic books. But now I'm really into not reading comic books, but I'm into these characters, and I feel vested in them, and I want to see how they're doing. And so the MCU has really done that right. They've created these raving fans and these characters that we non-comic book people can really love. Anyway, I hope you enjoy this movie, and if not, I would love to hear what was it that made you maybe rate it lower than you had thought you might. Be sure and comment down below. I love it when we get good conversations going because I want to hear what you think. Anyway, thanks for joining me, and be sure and subscribe, ring the bell, and join me on Facebook too. I've got a group called, you guessed it, moviereviewmom.com. Bye for now.